Governor Jeff Landry signed legislation aimed at solving the insurance crisis in the state. After Louisiana was slammed with several hurricanes, some insurance companies became unable to pay out, and others chose to either stop writing policies or leave the state entirely. That drove up the cost of existing property insurance, and during the legislative session, lawmakers pushed through 4 bills promising to reverse the trend. One established a tighter deadline for companies to initiate loss adjustments. Another offers incentives to homeowners who fortify their homes against storms. A third allows insurers to not renew up to 5% of policies each year with a cap in each parish. And a fourth changes rate filing requirements.
And some of these bills aren't popular, but they bring Louisiana back in line to the mainstream where other insurance companies operate successfully in other states.
Governor Landry describes some of the bills as tort reform legislation and says it'll make Louisiana more enticing for insurance companies. Consumer advocates fear that some of the reforms will lead to more people being dropped by their insurance companies or premiums staying high. A bill in the legislature is nearing the finish line that would reduce the amount of waivers that people can get to stay on SNAP benefits longer. Take a look at my report on the issue. The bill by Senator Blake Miguez would impact about 30,000 people across the state who currently get SNAP benefits. His bill looks to reduce the number of waivers that are given to people after the 3-month unemployment period. Under new federal law, able-bodied adults between the ages 18 and 52 will be limited to only 3 months of SNAP benefits over the course of 3 years if they are unemployed. About 30,000 Louisianians would fit this category, and State Senator Blake Miguez wants to do away with the no-cause waivers that allow people to stay on SNAP benefits longer.
But just to blindly give out these waivers with no good cause, I think what we're doing is we're stealing the American dream away. People
who are disabled, caregivers, have transportation issues, and other reasons can get the waiver under this bill. He says if people work part-time or do volunteer work, they can be eligible again for the waivers. He points to the over 100,000 open jobs in the state, and some lawmakers still fear it will create a hardship for certain people who will lose out on the $200 a month for food.
We're talking about folks that's convicted felons, criminal background. We can't assume that somebody's going to hire them. And we're talking about literally taking food out of people's mouths.
Some advocates also said studies show that work requirements don't really increase employment rates. The bill was voted on along party lines. The bill now heads to the full House, where it could be the final stop for this bill if there are no amendments on it. At the Capitol for your local election headquarters, I'm Shannon Hecht. There's also a bill advancing that would make kids have to store their cell phones with their teachers before each class. Some say it will cut down on distractions, but others are concerned about safety. Miriam Samake reports.
It has gone beyond the distraction in the classroom to the overall detrimental effect on children.
State Senator Beth Mizell proposed a bill to ban kids from having cell phones turned on during the school day. Local districts are able to make their own policy, but Mizell says taking the issue statewide would help individual teachers not feel like the tough guy.
Frankly, from what I've heard from teachers, it's going to make their jobs a lot easier because there's no gray area.
The state senator says she has received critique concerning emergencies. A Shreveport resident who is a grandparent to 2 students says she is against the bill 100%.
You know, there's so much going on in the world, and the cell phones is the way our grandkids, and used to be my kids, communicate with the parents. So if something happened, that's an emergency, then we are able to reach our grandkids or children, for those that have kids in school, with the cell phones.
I don't know of any actual safety protocol that thinks 30 kids should be calling on their phone in the midst of a crisis. We've had school crisis forever, and it's always been the people in charge have to put protocols in place.
Senator Mizell says the office has landline phones if students need to call for personal reasons. Additionally, students with monitors for individual health accommodations will be excluded. Evans says she understands phones can be a distraction in the classroom, but to her, safety is a big concern.
If there's a threat going on at a school and my kid or grandkids are in another room and they have access to their cell phone and they can text me, I'm coming. I want them to do that. I'm not worried about the teachers focusing on being a distraction for the kids. Those kids going to be in fear. So much going on, and they see it on the news. So, yeah, text me. If you can call me, call me.